Tonight is one of those Monday nights where everything feels like it matters. Not just another game, but a moment to turn a season around. The Chiefs are coming off a statement win where they blew out the Ravens 37-20, and the Jaguars themselves are riding momentum after knocking off the 49ers 26-21, so you're getting two teams that look resuscitated and hungry. The matchup is set for Monday, October 6, 2025, at Everbank Stadium in Jacksonville, and ABC has the national spotlight, so this is really a prime opportunity for you to see whether Kansas City can climb back into the upper half of the AFC race tonight. If you want the short version before we dig in, odds makers opened the Chiefs as a small favorite, and the line has moved to Chiefs 3.5 with a money line near 198, while the Jaguars sit at about 164. The total has been pushed to 45.5. Those numbers tell you two things right away. Odds makers still trust KC in these tight spots, and the market expects a reasonably competitive, somewhat high-scoring affair. Keep those lines in mind as we break down matchups, because betting markets often move on injury news and the kind of in-game adjustments we'll be previewing. If you're watching live, drop a quick Chiefs in the comments if you think Kansas City takes this one, or type Jags if you want to argue otherwise. I'll read the top replies after the game. And if you like short, sharp Chiefs breakdowns like this, hit subscribe. We're pushing to 5,000 subscribers, and every new sub helps the channel grow. Patrick Mahomes in prime time always feels like a different animal. He's not just the face of the Chiefs, he's the guy who makes Monday night games must-watch television. Through the first chunk of this season, Mahomes has been everything you'd expect: efficient, explosive, and still capable of pulling off the kinds of throws that make defensive coordinators lose sleep. He's completing passes at a high rate. His touchdown-to-interception ratio is right where you'd want it. And he's once again showing that even when defenses take away the deep ball, he's patient enough to nickel and dime his way down the field. What makes him so dangerous in this game is that Jacksonville hasn't consistently shown the ability to keep quarterbacks uncomfortable for 4 straight quarters. They've had stretches where the pass rush looked legit, but against a player like Mahomes, one busted coverage or one slow pass rush rep can turn into a 50-yard strike. Now, on the other side of the field, you've got Trevor Lawrence, who is quietly playing some of the best football of his career. He's hitting his spots, he's managing the pocket better, and he's finally showing that he can carry a game when the run game isn't there. Against San Francisco last week, Lawrence proved he could hang tough and make the high-level throws to get his team across the finish line. And that's exactly what makes this matchup compelling. You've got Mahomes, the gold standard for clutch. Primetime football versus Lawrence, who's building his elite case and can absolutely make this a shootout. If you had to put one quarterback in your fantasy lineup tonight, who are you rolling with, Mahomes or Lawrence? Drop your pick in the comments, because I'll be curious to see how confident you are in Trevor going throw for throw with Patrick on a national stage. The supporting casts tilt this in interesting directions. For Kansas City, Rashee Rice has stepped into a role as a reliable target. Travis Kelce continues to be Mahomes' security blanket. And rookie wideout Xavier Worthy, if he's healthy enough to go, adds that vertical spark. The Chiefs' offense isn't the Tyreek Hill highlight show anymore, but it's a unit that can hurt you in 10 different ways. For Jacksonville, Calvin Ridley gives them that vertical threat, with Christian Kirk and Evan Engram working the middle and underneath. The Jags are most dangerous when Lawrence distributes quickly and forces defenses to cover every blade of grass. The big chess match will be how the Chiefs' defensive front handles the Jaguars' protection. Chris Jones has been a game wrecker again this year, and if he and the pass rush can collapse the pocket, Lawrence could be forced into tougher throws under pressure. On the flip side, Jacksonville's defense is athletic, but can occasionally get caught flat-footed against misdirection and motion, two things Andy Reid loves to scheme. That's where Mahomes thrives, using pre-snap movement to diagnose coverages and create mismatches before the ball is even snapped. The quarterback duel will likely determine whether this game turns into a shootout or a late, methodical win. When you look at a game like this, the first thing you have to do after the quarterbacks is scan the injury report, because that's where Vegas lines and coaching strategies can shift dramatically. For Kansas City, the notable names on the report include wide receiver Xavier Worthy, cornerback Christian Fulton, and tight end Noah Gray, all listed as questionable heading into Monday night. Worthy especially is a big one to monitor because his speed completely changes how defenses line up. If he's able to go, the Jaguars have to respect that vertical threat, and it opens up space for Kelce and Rice underneath. Fulton's status matters too, because depth in the secondary has been tested already this season, and without him, you're asking younger guys to hold up against Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. On the flip side, Jacksonville had linebacker Yasir Abdullah listed out, which takes away some rotation in the middle of the field and could make it tougher to handle those crossing routes Andy Reid loves to dial up. Questionables can flip matchups in a hurry. If a name moves to out in the hours before kickoff, it could shift how Reid and company scheme for the evening, so keep a close eye on the pregame reports. Now, let's talk trends, because history does matter when you're trying to forecast what might happen. The Chiefs have been solid as road favorites in spots like this, especially under Mahomes, and they've built a track record of stepping up when the lights are bright. What's interesting here is that Jacksonville has quietly been a good against-the-spread team at home when they're underdogs, which means if you're looking strictly at betting value, the Jags might look appealing. But Vegas didn't hang that 3.5 on Kansas City by accident. It's a line that suggests confidence in Mahomes and Reid finding ways to close games, even if Jacksonville keeps it competitive for 3 quarters. The total sits at 45.5, which is right in that middle ground. Not screaming shootout, but not a defensive slog either. Odds makers expect a game that could break either way depending on turnovers and red zone efficiency. And here's where things get interesting. Models and sharps are currently leaning toward Kansas City covering that, 3.5, and toward the over-hitting, which implies both quarterbacks have the playmaking upside to push totals into the high 20s per team. Early in the week, the line moved from around 2.5 out to 3.5, and when respected bettors lean on a side early, that movement tells you where market confidence was swinging. That doesn't guarantee an outcome, but it does reflect the numbers guys read on matchups and health. So as you piece this together, a questionable status for some Chiefs weapons, a Jacksonville team that tends to cover at home, and a line that moved in Kansas City's favor. It sets up the kind of tightrope game where the Chiefs are expected to win, but fans should brace for a competitive back and forth. The betting markets are basically saying, yes, the Chiefs are better, but Jacksonville isn't going to roll over. Here's my final read. I think the Chiefs cover the 3.5 spread, and I lean toward the over on 45.5. Why? Because Mahomes is still the difference maker in late-game scenarios. He finds ways to create drives out of nothing, whether it's an off-script throw, a perfectly timed scramble, or a connection with Kelce when everything else is covered. Jacksonville is a talented team, and Trevor Lawrence can absolutely make plays. But when it comes down to the fourth quarter execution on the national stage, I'm putting my chips on Patrick and Andy Reid to find enough plays to get across the finish line. My final score prediction is Chiefs 28, Jaguars 23, close all night. But Kansas City pulls away, just enough in the closing minutes. If you like prop ideas, watch Mahomes' passing total and Kelce's receptions. Kelce's matchup against Jacksonville's linebackers and safeties often creates extra targets in crucial moments. Rashee Rice is a good shout if Worthy isn't 100%. Rice has been Mahomes' reliable chain mover. On defense, Chris Jones to record a sack feels like one of the safer plays, given how he's been collapsing pockets this season. Beyond the numbers, this game carries emotional weight for Chiefs fans. A win on the road against a quality AFC opponent on national television resets narratives and reminds everyone that Kansas City is still the standard in the NFL. Fans want reassurance that this team is built for the long run, and Monday night is a chance to calm those doubts. Expect a competitive game. Expect Mahomes to show out under the lights, and expect the Chiefs to come away with a hard-earned road win. Now, I want you to do two quick things for me. First, drop your score prediction in the comments. Are you calling a Chiefs win by a touchdown or an upset in Jacksonville? Second, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that subscribe button and like the video. We're pushing to 5,000 subscribers, and your support is exactly how this channel keeps growing and delivering week-to-week breakdowns and reaction content. Thanks for watching, and enjoy Monday Night Football. I'll see you after the game for the full reaction and post-game take.